What's the quickest you've ever seen a new coworker get fired? Story 1. Worked at Best Buy and around 2010 we hired for the holiday season. I think it was his second day and I was organizing games on the bottom shelf, and he came up to me and said, "Hey, check this out," and bounced up and down. I started hearing a clapping noise. Like clap 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 clap, literally no idea how, but his balls were making that clapping noise. This was at my face level too since I was kneeling down. Being a 20-year-old dude, part of me thought it was horrifying, the other hilarious in a "what the fuck is this actually happening" kinda way, but apparently he went around and did it to everyone and some girls reported him for sexual harassment and he was fired fairly quickly. I've tried to recreate it throughout my life but I have no idea how the guy did it. He was young. The clapping was so loud. Story 2. I worked for an anime website aimed at young teens. On his first day at work, a new engineer mentioned to our IT guy that there was some monitoring software he had to install on his work laptop. Turns out he was a convicted child predator and had court-ordered monitoring of all his online activity. He hadn't disclosed any of this in his job app or interviews. Got walked out the door instead of getting his laptop. Story 3. A guy got hired at my job and did all sorts of no safety violations. The most egregious example was when I looked outside where the cardboard compactor was and he was inside of it stomping down the cardboard, clearly super dangerous and a huge OSHA fine waiting to happen. There are numerous signs posted saying not to get inside. I've had coworkers nearly written up for just leaning too far into it. Our manager told him to never do that again and he more or less said he didn't give a shit and was gonna keep doing what he wanted. Shockingly, management wasn't sure what to do with that. He lasted a bit longer then disappeared. I'm actually not sure if he quit or was fired. He also was just gross. Combative, a know-it-all and general pain in the ass, and made numerous disparaging remarks about women being overweight. I certainly hope he got shit-canned. Story 4. When I worked in data entry there was a tricycle on our office floor, just added as a relaxed bit of fun by the managers, who were all very chill people. One of the girls that got hired around the same time as me would, instead of working, just ride the tricycle around the office all day, every day. When we all showed up in the morning she wouldn't even log into her computer. She would just get right on the tricycle and ride around talking to people until she left to take her lunch break. The day she got fired she had to be escorted out of the building because she was screaming about, "You're targeting me unfairly, lol." Story 5. Worked at a place where you couldn't be colorblind because you were reading schematics and identifying connectors of varying different colors. There was hundreds of tiny connectors in one array. Somehow, by the grace of God, this guy got hired. Either they forgot to implement the CB test or he successfully guessed his way through it. He trains for a week and is put onto the line to build $20,000 cables for fucking missiles. His very first connector he spent all day on, soldering and connecting and signing the paperwork and the steps, gave it to QC for inspection. It was one of the most fucked up examples of a connector anyone had seen. Next day, guy admits he's colorblind, and whether he can keep the job. He's let go because he cost the company $20,000. The connector was put on display in HR to drive home the importance of sticking to hiring procedures. Bonus story time. Story 6. Back in the mid-1990s I had hired a guy for senior Unix systems administration role. It was made quite clear in the posted job description, the interview process, and on his first day that this role would be required to be on call a few nights per month on a rotating basis with the other Unix admins. The salary reflected that as well. This was a 6-figure position. He was issued a company laptop and a cell phone for his on-call work that could be done from home. As part of the onboarding process our Unix lead admin wanted this guy to shadow him on his on-call evening so that he could see how processes differed in the off hours. It was his second day on the job. That evening, I happened to be working a bit late and the help desk calls me saying they've got an issue that needs to be escalated to the Unix team and asking if they've got the right number for the new guy because it's just ringing and going to a default voicemail mailbox. I tell them to call the lead admin to get him working on the issue and that I'll contact the new guy myself. I call. Same thing, voicemail. Multiple times. I fish out his employment docs that are all still sitting on my desk and find his home phone number. I call and get about 3 words out of my mouth when he responds, "Why the fuck are you calling me at home?" and hangs up. A bit in disbelief, I look back at the paperwork and verify. Yes, this is his phone number and try it again, thinking maybe he'd mistaken me for someone else. I receive a similar bit of vitriol and a hang up. I contact the lead admin and inform him he won't be having the new guy join him that night or any other. We immediately killed all of his system access and his door card, and HR was waiting for him at the reception area first thing in the morning. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. If you have a story of your own, leave it down in the comments below, and perhaps you will get featured in a future video.